Where is the Jamaican government?
Nowhere. Send an agent to give out the money. Send a client with the money. Don't give it to Mr. Andrew Homeless because he not going to give you the money where we figure people about we house.
The government get that money, we'll never get it. I promise you that.
Money. We will never get that. Give him, carry one that come and don't get 1 cent. This town gone where they don't get nothing, not even sweetie. Don't send the money. Worldwide foreign country, please don't send no money to Andrew Homeless because he not going to give Jamaica people. Please, me I beg you.
Wagwan, my Jamaican family, and once again welcome back to the Yardi Reacts. If it is for the first time you are checking me out, kindly subscribe, like and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I do want to say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving to me. Whereby today, guys, I want you to watch this compilation of a couple of videos on whereby the Jamaicans are tired and angry about the government and the leaders onto it. Let's say the JLP party, mainly because we know it is onto the government and it is led by the Prime Minister Andrew Homeless. So here Jamaicans are angry about this government, mainly because it is said the government does not care about, you know, the people of Jamaica and Jamaica itself, and all they care about is themselves. So I want you guys to watch this entire video to the end, and I'll be back with more.
View that the government can engage in a spending spree. Thank God they are not the government.
The latest Auditor General's report has found that of the $1.44 billion donated for Hurricane Melissa relief, only 1.8% or $26 million has so far been spent. That money, it says, went solely to roofing materials. Meanwhile, leftover funds from Hurricane Beryl of over 138.8 million Jamaican dollars and 100,000 US dollars remain untouched. The report notes that the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, had no expenditure plan, leaving aid idle while citizens waited for relief. The audit also revealed that millions were withheld by a financial services institution, some 15.7 million Jamaican dollars and nearly 300,000 US dollars. There was no formal contract. Transfers were delayed and the Auditor General could not confirm if the money ever reached ODPEM's accounts. This, as the report reminds, that the audit is one aimed at retaining transparency in the use of the funds and ensuring accountability as the government embarks on several projects under the recently passed NARA. But there was more. The roof restoration program also came under fire. The report notes that $34 million in roofing materials has been delivered without signed receipts. It found that payment records for contracts worth over $100 million were missing. This, as ODPEM says, 421 roofs were repaired, but auditors found no clear beneficiary verification and no completion reports. Also under the microscope, the National Disaster Fund. The audit concluded that the NDF, Jamaica's safety net, is not compliant with the law. It shared the fund had no designated bank account. As such, the report continued, the funds are mixed with other projects. Additionally, it notes required annual reports and statements of accounts have not been prepared from as far back as 2018. As of February, the fund held $163 million in cash and $293 million in investments. Despite this, the Auditor General says oversight remains weak. The Auditor General concluded that weaknesses in financial management and governance threaten Jamaica's disaster response. The report urges ODPEM to act immediately with a clear expenditure plan, a dedicated account for the disaster fund, and formal agreements with partners. Without swift reforms, the Auditor General notes donor trust and public confidence could erode, leaving Jamaica vulnerable when next a storm hits.
So those who are of the view that the government can engage in a spending spree, thank God they are not the government. The government has to be frugal, it has to be careful, it has to watch now more than ever. It has to watch every dollar that is spent. Because yes, we are in a good position, no doubt. We have never been in a position where a disaster struck and we don't have to be scrounging around to find $1.1 billion. We have it there. To start, we can start. That is because of the fiscal management of the government that built resilience in our fiscal affairs.
One opposition senator counters.
It is unconscionable and scandalous that the government sat and donated money while thousands of Jamaicans suffered. People were hungry. People were sleeping under damaged roofs or no roofs at all. Families were struggling to rebuild their lives, and the money donated by generous Jamaicans and well-wishers to help them was simply sitting idle, going nowhere.
So those who are of the view that the government can engage in a spending spree, thank God they are not the government.
Unlike the government, the facts are honest. The Auditor General confirmed that 88% of the $1.4 billion in Hurricane Melissa donations remain uncommitted.
The opposition's deputy spokesman on productivity, efficiency and effectiveness says this means there was no plan, no contract and no obligation to deploy the funds. He reasons,
bureaucracy slows spending, but it does not prevent a government from committing funds. So the question that must be asked is why several months after Hurricane Melissa, did 88% of donated funds have no commitment whatsoever attached to them? And this appears to be a pattern, because we must recall that the Auditor General said that $138 million from hurricane burial donations in 2024 sat idle and was never reported to the Ministry of Finance as required by the law.
The public should note that Finance Minister Favour Williams had itemized the 67 billion Jamaican dollars being spent on Hurricane Melissa recovery and relief efforts during her contribution to this year's budget debate. The referenced expenditure includes approximately $10 billion to assist Jamaicans to repair their roofs.
So those who are of the view that the government can engage in a spending spree, thank God they are not the government. The government has to be frugal. It has to be careful. It has to watch now more than ever. It has to watch every dollar that is spent. Because yes, we are in a good position, no doubt. We have never been in a position where a disaster struck and we don't have to be scrounging around to find $1.1 billion. We have it there. To start, we can start. That is because of the fiscal management of the government that built resilience in our fiscal affairs.
The senator also countered the government's response, contending there's no defense for the handling of the funds and demands that a transparent expenditure plan be laid out for the money.
As it relates to the approximately 1.44 billion Jamaican dollars that have been received in donor funds for Hurricane Melissa related support, 600 million of that amount is being used to build bases for the modular housing solutions for people whose dwellings have been destroyed. Additionally, $240 million is being used to support the Government of Jamaica directed roof repair program, where the JDF assists Jamaicans to restore their dwellings. This is separate, of course, from the roofs program. Additionally, $560 million has been committed to additional Melissa-related recovery efforts.
Senator Morgan cannot credibly blame red tape for money that was never directed anywhere. These are not bureaucratic delays. This is a governance failure. Jamaicans who donated in good faith deserve accountability, and we're calling on the government to immediately publish a transparent expenditure plan for all outstanding disaster relief funds.
The government has said the findings further support the need for the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARA, to chart the country's infrastructure rebuilding efforts after Hurricane Melissa.
Where is the Jamaican government?
Donors, though,
Nowhere!
would not give out. Send an agent to give out the money. Send a client with the money. Don't give it to Mr. Andrew Homeless, because he's not going to give you the money where we figure people about we home.
The government get that money, we'll never get it, I promise you that.
Money. We will never get that. Give him, carry one that come and don't get 1 cent. This town gone where they are don't get nothing, not even a sweetie. Don't send the money. Worldwide foreign country, please don't send no money to Andrew Holness. Because now go give Jamaica people, please, me I beg you no.
Trump and Secretary Rubio and the American people have promised support to the people of Jamaica. These are very large lift helicopters. They're going to be working shoulder to shoulder with the JDF to get supplies out to the Jamaican people. Where is the Jamaican government?
Nowhere. Send an agent to give out the money. Send a client with the money. Don't give it to Mr. Andrew Holness because he's not going to give you the money where we forget people about we house.
The government get that money, we'll never get it. I promise you that.
Money. We will never get that. Give him. Carry one that come and don't get 1 cent. This town gone where they are don't get nothing, not even sweetie. Don't send the money. Worldwide foreign country, please don't send no money to Andrew Holness. Because now go give Jamaica people, please, me I beg you no.
So those who are of the view that the government can engage in a spending spree, thank God they are not the government.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you've watched this entire video to the end and you have heard whatever Jamaicans have had to say about their prime minister and the current government that is ruling Jamaica. And to abide, this is not something that we usually expect as the citizens of our country. When we give our, when we elect our leaders, we usually expect for them to serve our countries and serve us as the citizens and the country in it. But what they do is they will come with their sweet tongues, their sweet mouths. They will convince us. They will do everything by whatever they can within the power of their tongue so as to convince us, and we will go on and elect them. But when we give them the chance, they usually shift. And this is where we usually know and see their true colors. This is Andrew Holness for Jamaica. It's not the first term he is serving. He has served other terms. He served the previous term, and the people of Jamaica were complaining very much hard. This time round, he won. And again, what I'm getting from the Jamaicans is that the prime minister did not win a very good win, or rather, they say he stole the votes. And this is something that many of our leaders usually do. They usually steal the votes. But this one for the Jamaican prime minister, it's very much enough. For the previous term he was serving, he definitely did the same thing he is continuing to do right now. So what led on to him to win is something that I've been questioning myself, and I never get the answer. The answer I will get is that he stole the votes or whatever, something of the sort. I don't know. Mainly because in Jamaica we know we have two parties, and that the JLP party and the PNP party, whereby the JLP party is led by Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and the PNP party led by Mark Golding. And so we have the people whom supports JLP, we have people whom supports PNP. So I definitely am not going to immerse myself in either of these party and say like this party is good or this party is good, mainly because all of the politicians usually are the same. They usually have got sweet lips and tongue, and they will convince you with every capability they have got in themselves. All I do usually say each and every time and now then, all we need to do is do our researches about our leaders and the leaders we want to elect them as our leaders, mainly because we are never going to know if the person is talking the truth or a lie. For we have been served with other many leaders that have got these behaviors. And nowadays our leaders, something that is pushing them to this is the corruption system. Our leaders just want to benefit themselves with our resources. And this is what the Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness is doing. Let not me just mention even my president of my own country. They are people whom just want the best for them and the people behind their back. If you are against them, you are going to face the consequences. And this is what is leading to Jamaica and other countries in Africa going in such kind of way. We need great leaders, like the president of Burkina Faso, Mr. Ibrahim Traore, the PM of Barbados, Mia Mottley, one of the greatest, women I've come around and known for her great ruling in Barbados. We never have had any complaints towards the Barbarians that their prime minister has done this, she's not doing this or this. And each and every time when we pass across speeches that are from Mia Mottley, they usually are sensible speeches, talking about corruption, talking about how Africa and the Caribbean can come together and work together and lift themselves up. All our leaders need to do is stop being puppets to the Western countries. Start focusing on yourselves, like Ibrahim Traore did. He cutted ties with the West countries, and now you can see how Burkina Faso is elevating. And this is something that he has been urging other African leaders and even the Caribbean leaders to do, but they don't want, merely because all they need, all they want, and all they think of is how they're going to benefit themselves, make rich of themselves towards, or rather with, our resources. And all they do is forget about serving the country, protecting the country. In another way, you have seen how nowadays in Jamaica we have a lot of cases concerning police brutality, and the government is just chilled. Little pickings are being shot dead. Citizens are shot dead with the policemen. So terrifying. And the government is just there, chilling, doing nothing. We are not going to tolerate these. We are not going to tolerate when we see our countries fall down and we do not speak. So guys, I need to know whatever you think about this amazing video. Let's come around, share our thoughts throughout the comment section so we can get to interact and know what you think, and mainly because your opinion does matter to us every day. Thank you very much guys for following up the video with me. I was your host, the Yardi Reacts. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, like and share to my YouTube channel. And to my returning subscribers, I do want to say thank you very much for the love and support you are always giving unto me. Always remember to link me up through my next videos. All I do want to say is peace out there.